Hello and welcome. I'm David Widmar, co-founder and managing partner of Ag Economic Insights, or AEI.ag. Joining you today to talk about the Ag Forecast Network's question of the week, where we unpack one of the questions that users of the Ag Forecast Network tool that's a part of the AEI Premium subscription, they're thinking about, they're forecasting, they're updating their expectations with. So today we're thinking about farmland values. We had a free article on our weekly blog, AEI.ag, that unpacks trends in capitalization rates, but also cash rental rates. And it left us thinking about where might farmland values be going here in 2022. For a little background, we follow the Indiana data really closely. Indiana data based on the Purdue Survey, which came out last summer in 2021, showed a 14% increase. What's going to be interesting about the Purdue data this summer is it's going to be a second year of potential increases. So we got to see how long this will keep playing out and the magnitude at which we might expect. So of course, it's always helpful to think about what are my expectations and what's the benchmark, what's the history been like, the base rate of this been like. And so that way we're thinking about these data as we head towards the summer release of the data, and we're not necessarily just responding or reactionary to the eventual data that comes out. We got to sort of prime the pump for our expectations, so to speak. So let's take a look at the forecast network question. The specific question is, what's the probability of top quality Indiana farmland values increasing by more than 15% in 2022 per that June Purdue survey? Here you can see my forecast. I've also turned on the consensus. I'm at a 70% chance of this happening. The consensus is somewhere closer to 55%. So I'm a long ways away from the consensus. I might be over optimistic here, but we'll see how this plays out. We'll see how the score goes. And I think everyone can agree it's probably going to be higher. It's a question of how much higher. And of course, one thing that we provide and we help you with, subscribers with, is thinking about the base rates, thinking about what we've seen in the past. And so as we look at this, we can see that annual changes in top quality farmland values in Indiana, we've seen a lot of big changes. So the first point here is we have a lot of points in history where we've seen more than 10% changes in farmland values. Even going back to the 2000s, we've had 4 occasions when Indiana farmland values have increased more than 15% annually. The high, of course, was more than 20% back in 2011. And if you zero in there, you can see we had 3 consecutive years of more than 15% valuation increases. In fact, for those 3-year periods, farmland values collectively increased by more than 70%. So one thing to take back and to consider is a 10% change or a 15% change seems very, very significant. And one of the things that's really helpful in a tool like the Ag Forecast Network is to challenge your expectations, challenge your thinking, but also challenge your assumptions. And so when we looked at the data, we looked at this historically speaking, 15% annual changes happen a little more frequently than at least I initially thought. And the idea of, well, we already had one big year. What's the chances of another big year? We have some data suggesting that consecutive increases of large magnitudes are possible. So I'm going to update my forecast here in the next few hours. Encourage you to update your forecast. Or if you're new to the AEI Premium and the Forecast Network tool, encourage you to take advantage of the 14-day free trial to zero in on your expectations and think about your own outlook. Of course, this is following Indiana farmland values. Not everyone is following Indiana farmland values, but we think this is a really valuable data set. There's a lot of history that we've written frequently about in the data, rich data set, but also it's going to be a key leader in the data sets given this second year of increases that we're going to capture here as we head into the summer of 2022. Until next week, stay curious.